Hey, Chuck here, Corner Store Car Collector, and I am back with my reveal video. I mentioned in my last video that I had a PSA order that was on its way back. Well, it arrived today, and I have 20, well, there was 21 cards to the submission, but I got one of them that didn't get graded, so I got 20 cards to show off. The majority of them, I think everyone but one, are all Hall of Famers. And let's go ahead and turn the camera around, and I'll show you what I got. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the reveal. This is the November special. I think it was November. Yeah, this was the November special of any 1950 sports or non-sports card. So I sent in 21 cards. 20 of them were football and one of them was baseball. And out of the 21 that I sent in, 20 of them got graded and one of them didn't. The one that didn't get graded is this 1957 Ollie Matson. And it says it was miscut. This card is not miscut compared to some of the cards that got graded. I mean, that's got really good centering on the front. And on the back side, it's got pretty good centering on the back too. So when they define miscut as something that is subjective, this is not a miscut card. So I'll be resubmitting this one again. It's in really, really good condition, so I'm not sure why they didn't grade this one. A little bit disappointed that it didn't get graded. However, 20 of them did get graded, and we'll go ahead and start off with my first one here, which is Hall of Famer John Henry Johnson. This 1959 came back a PSA 5. Obviously, it's off center, left to right, and just slightly top to bottom. But I'm happy with the 5. Next one is going to be this 1958 Bobby Lane, another Hall of Famer. This one came back in a PSA 5. As you can see how off-center this one is, left and right, top and bottom. I would consider this more of a miscut than that 57 Matson that I have, because that's like really off-center. But a PSA 5, I'll take it. Next up is this 57 Frank Gifford in a PSA 4. This one has some corner damage, so I think a 4 is fair. I do have another Frank Gifford. This one came back a 5. This one certainly looks like it's miscut. Nonetheless, though, it came back a PSA 5. I'll take that. Next up is this 1957 Art Donovan. He came back a PSA 4. This one's got different types of issues going on. Corners are not squared off. There's a couple of surface issues, and I think one of this top corner right here, it's got a little crease. I don't know if you could see it, but there's a little crease that comes down just above his hand there. So I think they hit it pretty hard. Anyways, Art Donovan, one of my favorite football players of the 50s and 60s. Next I have this 1957 Topps Bobby Lane. This one came back a PSA 6. Really nice sharp card, good vibrant colors. Next up is going to be this 1957 Norm Van Brocklin. This one came back a PSA 4. Nice 4. Next up is this 1950 Bowman Lou Groza. This one came back a PSA 1. I just wanted to slab it. It's his rookie card. It's got a crease that goes through it. Goes through like right through the center of the card. It's very faint, but there's a crease through it. The corners are rounded. Card's been around a little bit. It's been beat up, but it's a pretty decent one. Next up is this 1950 Bowman Bobby Lane rookie. This one came back a 1.5. It's crease free, however, the corners you can see are nice and rounded. There's a little paper loss up here on the left top corner. It's off center. The back side of it's fairly clean, but you can definitely see the rounded corners on it. A little bit of creasing right here. But for his rookie card, I'll take it in a PSA 1.5. Next up is this 1952 Bowman Small Ollie Matson rookie. Now this is a sharp card for a 2.5. I'm not sure what is wrong with this card. I looked it over before I shot the video. It's got some staining on the back. A little bit of maybe gum staining, or I don't think it's glue. The card's in really good condition. The front looks really good. The corners are sharp. I might resubmit this one and hopefully get a higher grade. But this one came back at 2.5. Next up is my only baseball card. This 1951 Bowman George Keel. This one came back a PSA 2. Nice rounded corners, off center, top and bottom, left and right. But nice card of a Hall of Famer and a PSA 2. Next up is this 1955 Bowman M Tunnel. This one has the misspelled tunnel on it. This one came back a PSA 4. Eye appeal is much better than a 4. There is some centering issues and there is some surface issues. I do believe a 4 is a fair grade on this card. So there you have it, M Tunnel and a PSA 4. Next up is this 1955 Bowman Pat Summerall. I believe he's the only one in this submission that is not a Hall of Famer. This one came back a PSA 3.5. Excuse me. This one came back a PSA 3.5. Not a superstar as an NFL player, but he certainly was a Hall of Fame quality announcer. I'm not sure if he's, I think he's in the Broadcasting Association Hall of Fame, but he's certainly not in the NFL Hall of Fame. Anyway, 55 Bowman Pat Summerall on a 3.5. Next up is this 1956 Topps George Blanda. This one came back a nice PSA 5. Good vibrant colors. See, this one's miscut. This one doesn't even have a bottom border on it. This would be understandable if this one didn't get graded, but that 57 Matson did, because this is obviously a miscut. But they gave it a grade of a PSA 5. So that's why I say these graders are subjective on what they're looking at, and sometimes they don't always get it right. But I'll take the PSA 5. Next up is this 49ers standout, another Hall of Famer, and a PSA 5. See, there's the border on the bottom. This one's way off, miscut from left to right, and this one could have easily been classified as a miscut also. I had several cards over the years come back that look like this that were miscut and got marked miscut. So I'm not sure what my thinker was, or what my grader was thinking. This one came back a PSA 5 nonetheless. And I don't mind those grades in a 1950s card. PSA 5s are all right in my book. Next up is this 1956 Norm Van Brocklin in a PSA 4. Nice action shot of this Hall of Famer. The 1956 set is probably one of my top 10 sets out of all of the sets that I have. But yeah, I like the 1956 set. That one came back a PSA 4. Next up is this 1959 Topps Bart Starr in a PSA 3. I've had this card a long time, very, very long time. I just wanted to get it in a slab. I knew it wasn't going to grade out high. Rounded corners. Centering's off. So yeah, I'm happy with a PSA 3. Next up is this 1959 Bobby Mitchell rookie. Another Hall of Famer. This one's a PSA 5. There's another one that's off-center, top to bottom. You can see how miscut it is on the bottom. Would be understandable if this one came back as a miscut. So I got this nice rookie card in a PSA 5. Next up is this 1959 Topps Lenny Moore. This one came back a 5.5. Nice 59 there for Lenny Moore. Now this final card. This card has me, I have mixed feelings. First of all, I'm disappointed. I'm a little bit upset with the grade that I got on this card because I know when I sent this card in and I looked it over several times. You can see in at least 2 or 3 of my videos that I've made in the past talking about this Jerry Kramer card and how pristine it was. I magnified it, I put it under the lights, I looked at everything. And I think they damaged my card. They gave it a PSA 5. This card is very well centered. The corners are sharp. And I know for a fact that there's a crease that goes right across the bottom part of this card. It's a very faint crease, like they dropped the card or they set something down on it while it was in a grading process. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not, but there's a small faint crease there that I know was not there when I was preparing this card for grading. And when I packaged my material to send a PSA, there's no way that card got damaged in transit either. So if anybody knows how to resolve this with PSA, how do I approach PSA to see about how the damage maybe have taken place, or if I even have a case to stand on, or what, please let me know in the comment box below, because I'm very upset about the grade that I got for this card. This card should have been an 8 at a minimum without that crease, and I know that crease wasn't there. Otherwise, this card is in great condition. The back is completely centered. The front is centered. All 4 corners are sharp. The vibrant colors. There's not a surface scratch on it except for that little crease that somehow appeared between the time I sent it off and the time I got it back. So please, if anybody knows how to resolve issues like that with PSA, I would love to know your comment in the comment box, because I seriously want to consider getting in touch with PSA, but I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about before I do that. All right, with that being said, those are all the cards that I got graded in this order. And I have another preview video that I'm going to be doing for the new special. I believe it's any sports card or non-sports card from 1960 all the way through 1979. I already have them selected. I just haven't gotten around to doing the video yet, so I'll have that out in the next few days. All right, so I hope you liked my cards that I got graded on this special here, the 1950 special, and we'll talk to you on the next video. All right, bye.